What is up, and welcome to Real Advice in Relationships. I'm your host, Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the podcast. As you're enjoying today's episodes, please rate this podcast, share this podcast, but most of all, download the podcast episodes. So sit back, turn up that dial, and enjoy this Southern girl share some real advice in relationships. Hey guys, what is up? This is your girl Keisha, aka Author K.O. Sterling, and I'm back today to do another podcast episode. I hope that today's episode finds you well wherever you're listening to it, whenever you're listening to it. I hope that this finds you well. So on today, this is the second episode of our Soul Tie series, okay? We're going to be talking about three types of damages that can be left behind due to a soul tie. Again, like before, there are many things that can be left behind due to a soul tie, but we're going to be talking about the top 3 physical damages that can be left behind due to a soul tie. Okay, and the first damage that can be left behind in the way of a soul tie is that you are unable to physically connect with your new partner, right? You're unable to physically connect with the new guy that you are dealing with. And this is kind of sad and it's very unfortunate simply because when you have really been with somebody and when you have had what we call in the South, some show enough sex, when you done had some show enough sex with somebody and they have really taken I guess I would say when they have heightened your sexuality and they have heightened your sexual desires and things of that nature, it makes it hard for somebody to come behind them and top that when you feel like you have reached the peak of your sexuality with that one person. And it's even more unfortunate if not just that things didn't work out, you had that experience with somebody who was maybe toxic, somebody who was not healthy for you, somebody who brought out the worst in you, and things just did not go well. Okay, so it's sad when we have those type of sexual experiences, those type of sexual gratifications with people who may not be forever dudes. That's not a forever person. That could just be based off a situationship. That could be somebody just in the moment. That's somebody that you're having fun with and you're just dilly-dallying around. And sometimes it could be somebody you've been serious with, but you two just cannot get along. You're not good for each other. You're good with each other sexually, but healthy mentally and emotionally in the long run is not healthy for you guys. Okay, so that's kind of the unfortunate part, that you have such a great physical experience with somebody who it just was not meant to be. And so because of that, it can make it very hard for you to connect with a new person, because when you get with that new guy, I can tell you from experience, okay? Not something I read nowhere, not regurgitating anybody else's information. I'm telling you from my own experience. When you get with somebody new, when you get with a new guy, how you know that you are still tied to your last dude or somebody that you've been with prior. Your body craves that dude that you have the soul tie with. So when you with that new dude, you cannot fully experience him physically and enjoy it because your body craving that previous or that prior experience you had with the dude that didn't mean you know darn good. Okay, so that's one of the main damages. That's not the main damage, but that's one of the top 3 damages in my mind that can be left behind due to a soul tie connection with the wrong person. Okay, number two, guys. Number 2. The second physical damage that can be left behind due to a soul tie is STDs, slash STIs, because that's what they call them now, or unwanted pregnancies. Now, I'm not going to stay on this point too long because that's kind of self-explanatory, excuse me. This is self-explanatory, okay? Nobody sleeps with anybody with wanting to get that, okay? But that's just inevitable sometimes. That's unfortunately an inevitable part of being sexually active. That's why it's important to use protection. That's why it's even more important to know the sexual health of the person that you are choosing to share yourself with. Because when you have sex with somebody, the physical damage that it could be left behind from a soul tie is that you can get a sexual transmitted disease or STI, and if it has gone untreated in that person, or if it has gone untreated into you, that could leave behind issues with fertility. You could have a hard time getting pregnant later on when you want to have a family or have a kid or whatever. That could happen. You can cause extreme damage to your other organs, just depending on what type of sexual transmitted disease that you get. Also, you can have unwanted pregnancies. Nobody wants to get stuck with the right now dude, okay? So, like I said, that's kind of self-explanatory. Nobody wants to get stuck with the right now dude or the for now dude, okay? Because one thing I can tell you is that you want to have that experience with somebody that you love, somebody that you enjoy, or if you do decide to be a single parent, going up front and they simply, you just using them, that's your choice to do that. But for normal healthy relationships, you're not going to have sex with somebody with the hopes of getting pregnant by them. Okay, and you're not in a healthy situation, because babies don't make things better. Babies don't make bad situations better. Babies and unwanted planned pregnancies make things even harder. They make difficult situations more difficult. They create bigger issues sometimes, okay? Not saying babies aren't a blessing, because babies are a blessing, but babies are a blessing that can be appreciated and not seen as a burden when it is done with somebody that wants to be there, and that's somebody that you want to do that with, okay? So I'm moving on from that point, all right? So the third and final reason I see that soul ties can leave physical damages are with your behavior. Okay, I know that's going to be kind of an odd word for some of you guys, and that is your behavior. When you are around certain people, they can either bring out the best in you or they can bring out the worst in you. We all influence each other to a certain degree or a certain level. Some people say it's energy. Some people call it spirit. Some people just call it aura. People have different names for it, okay? But when you keep the company of certain people, when you keep the company of people, period, you over time are influenced by that. And the thing, when you physically connect with somebody, and how you know that you have a soul tie situation. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone and you started kind of take on some of their attributes a little bit? You start to take on some of their likenesses just a little bit. And I'll give you an example of this. Have you ever noticed, like, if you're dating someone or you're with someone or even just in a friendship, and that friend maybe uses a few more F-bombs than what you're used to hearing, or that you're maybe comfortable with listening to, okay? You may have a friend that that uses foul language or what have you, and if you stay around them too long, your cursing level may go from, 3 to 5 a little bit in a short amount of time. You may have a friend girl that you notice the changes in her behavior, right? She's with a dude and you like, she's starting to change. Like, you notice that they have had a influence on your friend girl, and you just like, she acting a little off, or he changing her. I don't like that. So when you have a soul tie with somebody that changes you, that changes your physical behaviors, that change your physical attributes a little bit, right? And the longer you are with that person, the more influential they become over your life, whether that be a good thing or whether that be a bad thing. Y'all are going to, if you're rubbing together, if you connecting in any kind of way, you're going to be influenced by that person. That's just point blank period what it is, y'all. Again, the good book says that bad character corrupts good morals. You should be very careful who you are intimate with. And most of us don't learn these type of things until after we've made the mistakes. And that's fine, because that's what life is. Life is full of lessons that are learned through trial and error, right? So with that being said, I want to encourage you to really think about people you share yourself with, okay? Just really think about, for future references, think about people you share yourself with. Because even though, yeah, it can leave you with an unwanted or unplanned pregnancy as a physical damage. Yeah, you can get an STD left untreated, can mess with your fertility, and you could have a hard time getting pregnant, and so on and so forth. And yeah, you can take on these like behaviors, and yeah, you can have a hard time connecting with your new partner. Y'all, these are very important decisions. These are very important. Do you hear the ramification what I just said? Do you hear the ramification of what I just said? You can have an unwanted or unplanned pregnancy. Okay, you can get an STD or STI. Okay, that may or may not stay with you for a lifetime. You can also be unable to connect with somebody new, and the dude that you was tied to, that you physically was tied to, that you are still physically tied to via soul tie, he literally have left the building. Okay, and I would hate to be tied to somebody. I hate the idea of being tied to somebody who was not for me, who was only, hey, we both just a jump off, all right? Or I would hate to be tied to somebody who physically I will never experience again. I don't want to experience again. Not because my body isn't what R. Kelly said. Not because the body ain't calling. My body's calling for you. Not because my body ain't calling for his body, but because we not good for each other. When we come together, it's fireworks physically in the bedroom, but outside the bedroom, we can't stand each other. We don't get along. We about to kill each other. We about to bite each other head off. We argue. We fuss. We don't have anything in common, or we demean each other. We're mean to one another, spirited with one another. We manipulate each other. I mean, it's just, when I think about that, that is reason enough. That is, y'all hear me well. That is reason enough to be cautious and to be mindful of who you share yourself with. I don't want to come off as self-righteous or preachy, because I believe you me, I made my fair share of mistakes and will continue to make them, because that is part of life. That is part of growing. But I tell you what, who you choose to sleep with is optional. We choose who we procreate with. We choose who we share ourselves with. We choose who we spend time with. We have to be wise about those things. Because what you do today, I promise you, if you don't listen to anything else I say, what you do today will affect you tomorrow. So sow right seeds in the ground. Sow the right seeds in the ground with the right people. Choose wisely who you are going to spend your time with. Choose wisely who you're going to invite into your bedroom. Choose wisely who you're going to share your body with. Choose wisely who you will decide to procreate with. Because, truth be told, you're going to have to live with that decision for a long time. Point blank, period. Because you got that body count now. That's one extra person. If you choose to have sex with this person, or you choose to continue to have sex with a person that you got this soul tie with, choose wisely who you want to share yourself with. Okay? We're not perfect. We won't always make the right choices. We won't always make the best decisions. But if you have to pray your way through it, if you have to detox that person out of your life, you do what you got to do. Okay, you do what you got to do so you'll be able to move on. Don't just be moving on because that's what time does. You moving on with time, but you still tied to bae, your ex-bae, and then you got a new bae, right? Or not even, you just want to be free. You want your body not to crave him. You don't want all of that extra baggage that comes with being physically tied via way of a soul tie to somebody that been left the building a long time ago. He left the building and he done left your life. Okay? So be mindful of who you share yourself with. And I'll leave you with that note. Again, you are enough. And be mindful of who you share yourself with. Be wise about the choices and decisions that you make, because what you do today those chickens will come home to roost tomorrow. Whatever seed we put in the ground, we sow them, y'all. We do. All right. So until we talk again, thank you so much for joining me on Real Advice in Relationships on today. Share this with somebody. Share this, guys. Share it. Definitely share it. Download it and share it. Thank you so much again. Until we talk again, it's your girl Keisha signing off. Peace, y'all. Bye. Hey guys, be sure to go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. That's klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough. There you can find links to all of my social media platforms, shirts, books, and did I mention I offer free ebooks? Yes, when you go to my website, klsterling.wixsite.com/I'm enough, click on the ebooks link and it will take you directly to the free ebooks that I offer. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye.